Hi, I'm Amy, this is House of Nash Eats, and today we are making French crepes. Okay, so it's super simple and easy to make crepes or crepes.
Crepe.
Ta crêpe?
I love crepes.
I can't ever pronounce it very well. I don't speak French, but I can eat French. So it's just some really simple ingredients and I make them in the blender. I used to whisk these together by hand, which can be done, but it's hard to get out all of the lumps. And the blender just makes it so fast and easy and they turn out great. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by combining some milk and water, and I'll include a link to the recipe below with all of the measurements for you. But it's 3/4 of a cup of milk and 1/2 cup of water and then 2 eggs. And then 1 cup of flour and just a little bit of sugar, about 2.5 tablespoons. And I don't want to forget the vanilla. Okay, now we're just going to blend those together until they're smooth.
Wait, there's no cap.
There's no cap. Don't forget to put your lid on your blender. Okay, lid's on my blender. Now we're just going to blend this up until it's smooth. So I just blend for about 5 seconds and then I'm going to grab a spatula and just rub down the sides just to make sure there's no flour sticking to the sides of my pitcher. Okay, and then I'm going to add the melted butter once these are blended together. And lid back on, and we're just going to blend that for another 5 seconds. It's like 10 to 15 seconds total blending time, and that's it. Okay, and that's all there is to making your crepe batter, and now we're just going to heat up our pan and start cooking the crepes. Okay, so now we're going to cook our crepes. So I've got a crepe pan right here. It's specifically for crepes, so it's got this thin lip, but you could use any like non-stick pan that you have on hand. And I've heated this over medium to medium-high heat. The first couple of times that you, like your first crepe or two, you might have to dial in that temperature and make sure your pan is evenly heated. But generally speaking, it's going to be somewhere in that medium to medium-high range. And then I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup of crepe batter. And the trick is to pick up your pan and pour your batter in and swirl it around your pan. And then set it down and just let it cook. So when we went to Paris, we saw people making crepes all the time, and they have these really much larger, big, special like pans or tools that they use for making crepes, and they have a special wooden tool that pulls the crepe batter around. I kind of skipped that. The one tool that I do have that I love is I have this thin wooden spatula that I use all the time for making crepes, and it's really good for getting under the thin crepe once it's started to cook on the bottom and flipping it over to cook it on the other side. Okay, it really doesn't take that long to cook your crepes, about 60 seconds on the first side and then maybe 30 to 60 seconds on the other side if your pan is hot enough. And once it starts to cook around the edges, you'll see they should start to release a little bit just from the sides. And then you can get your crepe spatula or any thin spatula that you have, like a thin metal spatula, underneath and shimmy it under and then just flip it over. We'll see if I can manage it here and show you. Okay, let's see if we can flip it now. Just like that. And then you can just kind of slide it around a little bit, and we're gonna cook it on the other side just till it's barely golden also, and then we'll slide it off onto a plate, and we'll repeat the process and stack our crepes up until we're ready to serve. Okay, so then you just slide the spatula underneath. We're gonna give it a flip. There. Okay, and you can see it's just got like a nice light brown color on the top, even really pale in the middle. It will still cook through because it's so thin, it will cook all the way through the middle, even if it doesn't have like brown all the way across the top. And again, part of this is just dialing in the temperature of the stovetop that you're working with. I find these a lot easier to make on a gas stove, but maybe that's just me. Okay, and it should just slide right off the pan. You just stack them up. So I like to have them so they're just a little bit golden on top. It doesn't even have to be golden all the way across. You can have some paler areas because it will cook through on the bottom too since they're so thin. Okay, so I've got all of my crepes made, and when you're done making them, you can either just stack them or fold them into quarters or roll them up into like little tubes, whatever you want. But then the fun part is filling them. So I'm going to grab one of my crepes and open it up and fill it. And my family's favorite way to fill crepes is with Nutella. This is how we always enjoyed them in France. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of Nutella on here, or a lot of Nutella on here. It just depends on what you like. These are also super good with just jam, a dusting of powdered sugar, some honey, and then you can do any kind of fruit you like. I'm going to do bananas, I think. So I'm just gonna spread a few bananas on here, just like that. And then in Paris, they would, on the street, they'd fold them up into fourths like this, and you just eat them with your hands. Okay, so I'm making sweet crepes today, but I'll leave notes below for how you can change them to be savory crepes just by leaving out some of the sugar and using herbs instead. Okay, now for my favorite part, we get to taste the crepes. So you could use a fork and a knife, or you could just do this with your hands. So I'm just gonna grab my crepe, and I've got the Nutella and banana crepe. Here we go. Okay, this is such a good crepe. The flavor is sweet, the texture is really wonderful, and filled with Nutella and bananas. It's so good, reminds me of being in Paris. If you like this recipe for French crepes, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments below what sort of things you'd like to fill your crepes with. And you just eat them with your hands. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite. No, I don't wanna pause. How could you? Okay, so once you kind of know the amount, you can kind of just pour it from your pitcher. You don't even need to use a measuring cup. I'm just gonna swirl it around. Ooh, I didn't swirl that very good on the back. Except then I just proved how I don't know the right amount. There. It's totally fine. It'll cook through. If you like this recipe, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more great French-inspired recipes like, no, I don't want to say that because I'm not a French channel. Even though I've done, like, now I'll have fruit tarts and macarons, but yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.